Hi, thanks for watching. Our guest today is Mr. Dan Kosolofski, owner of Dancin Oilfield Services. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Kevin. How are you today?
I am well, sir. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Really want to say thank you for taking the time out to do this with us. We've had a great response from all of our interviewees, and I think everybody watching will be having great benefit from what we're doing. First of all, how long have you owned the business?
We started our own business, my wife and I, Cindy Kosolofski, 23 years ago.
Oh my.
98, something like that.
So you built it right from the ground up?
Yeah, we started out pretty small, and we were lucky enough to be working with some good people, and it just kind of grew. And
nice.
Yeah.
So, not that I want to reveal your age, but when did you know you wanted to own your own business?
Well, at about that time, I was kind of transitioning. A company that I'd worked for quite some time and enjoyed working for was selling, and there were opportunities to stay or go, and I just felt like it was time to try something on my own, and
nice.
And I've always had an interest in the direction I was going, so it was a good time to do it.
A win-win for everybody.
Well, I thought it was at the time.
I'm sure there's been some bumps along the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's pretty much inevitable when you take on your own business. I take it you've enjoyed it for the most part, though.
You know what? The people have been the best part of it, and for the most part, I mean, that kind of interaction that you get when you're running a business that's a big part of it.
Did you have to? I guess finance might be the right word. Like when you started to work, did you have to convince the banks that you were worthy of owning your business, of owning your own business?
Yeah, we did, and it was difficult, and you know, I don't think it's gotten any easier. It's tough to show credit when you haven't had the opportunity to build credit.
Absolutely.
And you know, for this generation and the time we're in right now with COVID and everything else, it is probably going to be that much more difficult for them. We didn't have anyone to help bankroll us, so everything we did was borrowed from banks, and banks, of course, they like to see that they'll lend you as much money as you have in your account when you're starting out, right?
Fair enough.
So you really want to, it can be challenging.
Is anybody else in your family entrepreneurially minded, or is it you're kind of like the lone rebel?
Oh no, I come from a pretty diversified family, industry-wise and business-wise. Farming, agricultural, mixed farm background.
Okay.
And you know, brothers and sisters have went different directions, but all of, you know, fairly successful people owning either their own businesses or working for really good companies or so on and so forth.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you were starting out, or even before you started out in your own company, did you have anybody that you could go to ask for advice from, like a mentor or anybody?
Oh yeah, I mean, my dad was probably my biggest influence.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is the ethic, the work ethic that you're brought up around, and stuff plays a huge part in where you go, especially with your own business. But the people you meet along the way, I mean, that's going to be the best information you're ever going to be able to get. And I think today's generation is very ahead of me as far as the computer and that kind of stuff goes, but I think they're a little shorter on the practical. And you know, there's no job that you could be in that you can't learn something from to take to your own business down the road. And I think working with these other people that can mentor you, and I can honestly say probably most of the things that I've done right are because of mentorship.
Fair enough.
And most of the things that I've done wrong, I did on my own. So, yeah, it's a huge part of it, for sure.
You can still be your own best teacher.
You can, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
When you get up in the morning, what kind of motivates you to get up and go to work?
You know, again, it's the people, the challenges. I enjoy being challenged many times to a fault. Mm-hmm. You know, that can can almost become a fault because you'll overload what you're trying to accomplish. But you know, if you stay focused, I think that's the key is, you know, that challenge is staying focused, finishing a task, and you know, really that background of ethic where you want to do the best job you can, and you want people to enjoy the products that you produce. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what it is, right?
Absolutely. And you're in the oil field service part of it, maintenance and service?
Service, pipeline, and earthworks, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were starting, did you have any like long range goals, or was your goal just to kind of get started and let's see where it goes?
Well, I started out welding, and that was always a passion of mine right from the time I was a younger kid. And then it just kind of grew from there. You fall into things, you know, you're learning as you go, and
Yes.
geez, you know, I really like this pipelining side of it. And sometimes fate just takes you in directions too. And, you know, if you're willing to take on those challenges and you know, utilize every bit of information you can gather from every previous job and implement it, usually you'll grow on your own without maybe that necessarily being exactly what you want to do. You know, if you want to achieve goals and you set goals for yourself, that's I think the biggest thing is just to do the best job you can, and when you do that, normally that will lead you forward into other things. And again, like you said, mentorship, you know, you look across the road and you go, well, you know, if that guy can do it, you know, I think I could too.
Sure,
right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, you have to challenge yourself, and you know, that's, I think, the key for our next generation too. Is I would really like to see them, you know, start to really challenge themselves and aim, set some goals and work to achieving them.
And setting goals is really necessary because you can't hit a target that you can't see.
That's right.
You know, and I know you're right. The younger generation, younger than us anyway, they have to learn that faster than we did, I think.
I believe so. That and I don't want anyone to take that the wrong way. I'm not saying that this generation coming up is doing anything you know, wrong or detrimental, but the overall focus of industry and education and everything has really been you know, keeping up with the computer generation, say.
Yep.
And I feel like they're kind of missing the boat on practical application. Like, you can be the best student, you can have the best marks, but to practically implement something, it takes experience.
Absolutely.
And there's two ways to gain it. Like I said, mentorship, well, was everyone I worked around, even if it was an employee of mine. I mean, that can be a mentor. Does he do it well? I can learn from him, you know, and that's what's gonna take you the next step, right? Is knowing how to do it, actually make it happen. So
and I get a lot of kids today. I'm not saying they're lazy by any means, but it's okay to learn to work with your hands. You know, we need carpenters, we need boilermakers, we need everybody like that too, not just I'm going to use the term computer test pilots, but that's not what we need all the time.
No,
that is important because that is the way of the world.
It is, yeah, but it's finding that balance again, and I, like I said, I don't think it's technically a fault of theirs. It's the way our generation moved, right? Like we went from being very hands-on trades kind of a country where we were developing the country with the companies and trades that were going to, all of a sudden, boom, it exploded, and we were into this high-tech world where things were happening quicker, right?
Absolutely.
But it's going to catch up, and I think there's really going to be some great opportunities for these young people coming up to get into these, you know, industries, not just oil or agricultural. It's, you know, but you got to get your hands dirty to do it. You got to get in there and learn it from the ground up. If you really want to be successful, you have to know how that wheel turns right from the start to the end.
Absolutely.
Just knowing how to do the accounting part won't get you there. You know, necessarily. I mean, you might get lucky and have really good employees that can carry all of that weight down below, but you need a good general idea of everything.
You're right. There's still a method to the madness.
That's right.
Do you consider yourself? I'm sorry, Mike. Before I ask that, how many employees do you have there?
We range. When it's really busy, we're up to 20 to 30 employees, and my wife kind of told me that we were never to go over 30 again. It just gets very busy. But generally, we like that 15 to 20 personnel. It's comfortable for us for the area we're working in, the amount of work that's generally here, and that's about where we're pretty comfortable.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a leader over there, or are they just like you're just a boss, or how do you look at yourself?
Well, no, I'd like to think, kind of date myself here, but I was a lot more hands-on. But I mean, as you get older, some of that has to fall away. The industry has changed. It's gotten very paper heavy, so that has taken me from the field back into the office a lot more than I would like.
Right.
Just personally, right?
Yeah.
It's not that you're doing anything wrong necessarily. It's just that's how it goes. But I've always prided myself on, and a lot of that again is family background. But don't ask someone to do something you wouldn't want to do yourself. So I mean, I've swept the floors. As a owner, I'll go out there and I'll sweep a floor. Or if we're in a pickle, I'm a welder's helper or whatever. And I think, that goes a long ways for those guys to know that, hey, he's willing to do the same job he's asking me to do.
Absolutely, and it's no shame to ask for help.
No, exactly, and that's why I say, like, lots of times again, mentorship, it can be an employee. It doesn't always have to be another business owner,
right.
Someone like that. It's amazing, these younger people they're smart, like they're crafty. They'll show you some tricks if they're given the opportunity, right?
And that's good. Yeah, we don't know it all. We think we do.
No,
we don't.
No, wasted day is the one you don't learn. So
absolutely. Has any one of your employees or anybody in general, I guess, ever come to you and asked you to kind of mentor them or ask questions about a job? Or
yeah, and that really makes an owner or a boss feel good and feel like you're part of what they're doing too.
Yeah.
That goes both ways.
Yeah.
I think that makes for a closer company relationship, even on a personal level. I think it's good for both sides, and if you're able to help that, as a business owner, that feels pretty good too.
You betcha. I'm going to really regress here. Before you got into welding and you were in school, were you a good student? Sorry to ask you that.
Well, I guess that would depend who you asked. I wish I would have paid more attention to that job.
Right.
I was really good at things I enjoyed.
Fair enough.
And not as good at the things I didn't, which tends to be life, right?
That sounds like pretty much all of us, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, you betcha. Even today as we're talking, do you have any like long range business goals? Like, are you looking at retiring, or when you're looking at retiring, are you looking at someone taking over your business for you? Or?
I would really love that. I mean, our goal has always been to do our best to treat employees the way we'd like to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd like to see them grow. It is very difficult unless someone can bankroll you these days to jump into a big company, but
right.
you can start out small, and even being able to help someone do that, that's a big part of it. And I think most business owners would like to see their employees at least have the opportunity to do something further if they did want to exit.
Right.
I have no plans of ever completely retiring. I don't think I'm wired that way, but a slowdown would be okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But not in the near future, or not. Well, not quite yet.
I don't think I'm gonna ever say I'm going to retire.
Right.
I will always need a substantial amount of work to keep me busy. But
fair enough. Well, that's okay. As we come to a close of our interview today, Dan, what any last words you'd like to impart to our audience?
I think the biggest thing are the things I touched on. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You know, learn everything you can, because that's one thing that you carry for free. They can't tax it. They can't take it away. It's yours. The more you can learn about every business you're around, and really pay attention. I regret the times I didn't. Even right back to school, right? Like, someday you're gonna wish you'd have paid more attention to that job, even if it felt meaningless at the time. That opportunity to learn is huge when you go to attempt something on your own.
Fair enough, and I know a lot of people in my life, they don't even know how they've impacted me and how they've mentored me, and not officially, but it's always been from a distance or just knowing somebody. It's kind of neat how you realize later on in life, because of how that person, even if they just said one thing to you, it can change your whole attitude and whole outlook.
Absolutely. And I mean, I would like to take this opportunity to really thank all the people that helped us through the years. I couldn't even, we wouldn't have enough time for me to name them all, but if they see this, you know who you are, and thank you very much.
Dan, it's been a pleasure tonight.
Yeah,
thank you very much for helping us out.
You bet.